Hi, this is Susie Hunter with Pine Valley Realty, and today I am humbled and so thankful to have a chance to sit down with these two remarkable people. This is Corey and Kirsten Nilsson, and their story is inspiring and will make all of us walk away with a hope to live a better and happier life. Thank you, Corey and Kirsten, for being with us today.
You're welcome.
So just to kind of set the stage, I was wondering if you could just tell us about your family, what an ordinary day in the Nilsson family before August 30th, 2017.
Okay.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kirsten and I have been married 25 years now, and we have 4 children. Oldest is a son who just married last October, and then 3 girls. One is 19?
She's 20 now.
20, 17, and 14.
Good.
And so, yeah, a son who's married obviously is out of the house, so we've got a lot of...
before the accident.
Yes, he was on his mission before this all happened.
Okay.
In Ghana, West Africa. But so that's our family situation. We live in Springville. We've been there for 18 years. That's right, 18 years. At the time of the accident, I was working for a software company called InsideSales.com, located in East Bay area of Provo. My wife Kirsten was working, or still is working, as a labor and delivery nurse at Timpanogos Hospital in Orem. And so our typical day was much like anyone else's, I imagine. I would get up and go to work. She would go to work.
In July, or maybe was it October? In October of 2016, Corey had also been diagnosed with factor V Leiden deficiency, which is a blood clotting disorder, and had been in the emergency room with clots to his lungs.
Oh my goodness.
And so this is kind of leading up, and up until
did they put him
then,
on blood thinners at that point?
so they put him on blood thinners. So that really is kind of a key, we've had some struggles and trials. In my perspective of seeing our family grow through some trials before, I have a little saying on my fridge that said, the struggle you are going through today is building the strength you need for tomorrow, by Hank Smith. Just whatever it is for you,
right?
It's building your character and your strength and your faith.
Right, the factor V Leiden thing that was diagnosed was a big issue just because I actually was in the hospital for that when I had those blood clots. It was one night I just was doubled over in pain, could hardly breathe. It was just the most intense, excruciating pain. She got me in the car and we went right to the ER at Timpanogos where she works, and that's when things were diagnosed, and I was there for a couple of days. Fortunately, the blood clot that I had, it got up my right leg, and actually it come up through my leg up into here. And I think it passed through the heart area and then down into the lung. It settles down the lung. So we were fortunate. We dodged a bullet.
Like people die from that.
People
all
die
the time.
Oh, yeah.
And he had multiple.
So we dodged a big bullet there, only to get us ready for this next one.
Yep.
Didn't we? So,
yep.
Well, and you also were an avid biker, right?
Very much so. I would ride. I ride about 3 days a week for a total of over 100 miles. And then 3 days I would do weight training.
Always fit, very, very conscientious of his body and staying healthy. And
I sat at a desk 8+ hours a day. I had to do something.
Get out
to keep myself active and going. And I did a lot of that. So those are all things leading up to that day.
Okay. So August 30th, 2017.
Okay.
You get up, go to work.
Mm-hmm.
I was at work.
Yeah.
It was busy for me. We shot each other a text at lunch. Hadn't even had, because I leave at 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
And so we texted at lunch and kind of got a little bit caught up in what he was doing. He was supposed to go home teaching that night, and around 8, and I was at work until about 7. And
I ended up getting off early that day. Got down some things, and we were told, hey, just go home, make the day short, go home and leave early. And so I did, and I thought, well, she's not home from work yet. I'm going to hurry and get a ride in, because if I wait, she'll say, no, you got to stay. So I figured I better get out and ride now.
Who's the boss, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I hurried.
And it was gorgeous in August.
Oh yeah,
fall.
beautiful day, clear sky. So I got my outfit on and jumped on my bike and started hitting up Hobble Creek Canyon, which is about a mile, mouth of the canyon, about a mile from our house, about a mile west.
And it's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, it's really pretty. So, and I had ridden the canyon for a couple of years. I've been doing the same route, well, some variation of that same route, dozens and dozens of times. So I was familiar with it. And,
but because of the factor 5 deficiency and being on blood thinners, I had been really concerned that summer with his riding. In the winter, he'd ride inside on a trainer in the house, but the summer came and I said, you know, you've got to tell us where you're going, because he goes by himself.
Yes.
So make sure you're telling someone, tell us where you're going. Always have your ID and your phone with you, and let us know where you're going. And I was in the process of ordering him a road ID with his medical information and how to contact us, and that he was on blood thinners. I had gotten everything, but what band do you want? So call that inspiration beforehand, just spousal worry. I think it was inspiration, and don't discount that. And he had stopped before he left and told our daughter, Hannah, the oldest, who was in the kitchen making dinner, I am going up right fork of Hobble Creek Canyon. I'll be back in an hour. So he had done what he was minding his wife very well. He was being very obedient.
So this is what time?
This is probably around
5:36. Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't there. I was at work delivering babies.
I had to get off and get on the road before you got home, which is around sometimes 7ish, but it's probably around 5, 6, something like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I usually had always taken my driver's license with me, stuck in my back pocket of my jersey, just in case something happened. As Kirsten mentioned, I did tell I remembered, I gotta tell them where I'm going. So I go, I'm going to Right Fork, hop on my bike and start pedaling east from our house. It's like about a mile and a half from our house, the mouth of the canyon. Anyway, the Right Fork is about 12 and a half miles or so to the top from our house. I was pedaling, I got up there, and still, a nice day. Turned around, and I was coming down the canyon, and I like to just push it as hard as I can, because I like going fast on my bike down the canyon.
That's the best part.
It is. That's the reward,
the wind
right?
in your face,
right.
And just coasting, getting hunched over really close to your bike and just going as fast as you can. So that's what I was doing at the time. And then I felt this wind behind me. I could tell there was a wind pushing me
Like
in my
a little
back.
surge.
Right, and I go, even better. I can go faster, So I'm pedaling down here. I'm got hunched over my handlebars, going down as fast as I can. And I come around. There's a particular corner of the canyon. It's pretty sharp. I came around the corner of that, and as I'm going down the canyon, I'm looking straight ahead for cars coming up the canyon.
Exactly.
Especially around the corners, because they can't see you.
And this one is probably the tightest corner in the canyon.
Corner,
It is narrow, and it's at the top.
And a lot of times I see cars taking these corners, cutting them.
Sure,
right.
And so that's what scares me to death, sometimes if there's a lot of traffic. So I used to go early in the morning, usually riding, because then you wouldn't have as much traffic. But this was in the afternoon, and so I was watching carefully what was in front of me, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm on my back. You see the cartoon characters when they get hit, little birdies circling above them, that kind of thing. I'm just on my back going, what just happened to me? It just blacked out. And I had no idea what hit me. I just know I just stopped in my tracks. I was on my back, still clipped into my bike.
Yeah.
Really?
So I had my shoes that clipped into the pedals, and we don't really know how long I was there until help arrived. I don't think it was too long. So now we gotta stop, and do we talk about what's their names?
The Adams.
The Adams. So now we kind of stop here and go to another storyline.
Okay.
A man and his wife who lived at Left Fork, which is where most of the residential area is at the camp, Left Fork of Hobble Creek. He had just bought his wife a gun for her birthday, and they wanted to go shoot it. There's a little area up the canyon, a dugout on the road up there.
An informal shooting range.
Yeah, very informal. We both shoot against the side of the mountain, and he wanted to take her up to try out the new gun. Well, he had fallen asleep on the couch. Fill in where I missed
Okay.
here. I forget things. He had fallen asleep on his couch, and all of a sudden he woke up with a start. He just had this feeling he had to get going. He had to get up the canyon. He didn't know what it was, but he felt an urgency to get going. Now, years later, 15 years ago or more now, I guess. Prior, he had bolted a climb up the North Fork of the canyon,
The right fork.
Oh, sorry, the right fork, yeah. He had bolted a climb and thought, well, maybe I want to go climbing instead. So he didn't know why, but he said, I'm going to throw my climbing gear and the gun in his trunk and just go. So he got up at the start, got his wife, and said, we got to go now. We've got to get the canyon. So she goes, okay. So they jumped in the car with all their stuff, and we're heading up the canyon. And the shooting range area is prior to where I had been.
Several miles.
Yeah.
Before.
As
where
you're
Corey
going
was.
east up the canyon. Right. And he's just felt this impression that they needed to go to this route he had bolted for the climb. Really strong impression. So they, okay, we'll do it, whatever you want. His wife said they got up there, and my accident had occurred just about 30, 40 yards before that climb.
Below
maybe.
it.
Below it.
So from where Corey was on the road, you can see the jetty
It's
of
the one
rock.
piece of red rock sticking out
That
up there.
in his mind, that is where he was going climbing. It wasn't like this, oh, I'm going to go rock climbing, because that's what we'd heard, is that they were just going to go, he decided to go rock climbing instead. And then when they came and spoke with us in the hospital personally and told us their part of this amazing story, was that, you know, in his mind, rock climbing is the rock that he had bolted. And he hadn't been up there for at least 10 years to climb that rock.
Right.
So he was very much impressed and followed the promptings to go where he went at the time that he went, with the urgency
Yes,
that
that was
he
very
went.
important.
Wow.
Had it not been for them, it could have been much worse. I may not be here right now. So they passed the shooting range and kept going because he felt this urgency to go to this climbing route. And of course, they stumbled onto me. Well, they saw a tree across the road.
And his bike.
And my
then
bike
they
under
noticed
it.
him.
And
So you were literally under the bike.
He was thrown up against the side of the road, which was the soft side. So, you know, as you're coming down the canyon, you've got the river side and then the dirt side. And so coming down, he was hit on his left side of his back by the tree. And I don't know to this day if he was under the tree at all. I would imagine some branches were on top of him because they
had to move it. So I'm
in
pretty
the
sure
medical
that's
report, it says hit by a branch. Well, it was the top third of a
tree.
several 100-year-old pine tree.
Right.
that
So what we
hit
found
me.
out was this wind behind me, tailwind, was more like a microburst, and it had hit this old growth pine tree and knocked it off about 20 feet up from the ground, toppled it, pushed it over, and then that portion fell down and hit the side of the creek and split
Broke.
again. So it was right at the top third of the tree that
Slammed
actually
into
slammed
him.
into me.
So
At the split second,
like
he's going
literally,
at 30
we're
miles
talking,
an
he's
hour.
coming 30 miles.
Yeah.
My bike, I know what
Yeah.
that is.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
It's pretty quick, yeah.
And
No.
for that split second,
Yeah.
that to be when he's
For it to
passing
crack,
by.
to fall, and split again, because it bounced down
Yeah.
the side of the mountain.
The timing was just
It
crazy.
There
Yeah.
is no why.